If you're hunting for a powerhouse AV receiver, the Denon X3800H might be on your radar. It promises 8K video pass-through, immersive 3D audio, and a flood of features geared to transform your home theater. But here's what surprised me. There's a darker side to this high-end beast that's causing a lot of headaches for users. Today, I'm breaking down everything you need to know before you drop almost $2,000 on the Denon X3800H, including some common problems that could ruin your experience. Why? Because not every powerhouse is built the same. So, stick around if you want to avoid costly mistakes and get the full story behind Denon's flashy flagship. Now, you might think the Denon X3800H is the ticket to your dream home cinema, and on paper, it checks a lot of boxes. Dolby Atmos, DTS, Pro, IMAX Enhanced, and RO3D support Screen Premium. 9 HDMI 2.1 ports with 8K/60Hz pass-through. Perfect for future-proofing your setup. On top of that, it's got built-in HEOS streaming, room correction technology, and support for nearly every HDR format under the sun. But the catch? Despite the feature-rich profile, users report issues that range from setup confusion and HDMI handshake problems to a surprisingly steep learning curve and some audio glitches that can spoil the magic. If you've been dreaming of those heart-pumping surround sound moments with crystal-clear 8K picture quality, don't tune out yet. I'm going to walk you through the highlights, the quirks, and the pitfalls of the Denon X3800H so you know exactly what you're getting into. Plus, I'll share who this receiver actually suits and who's better off looking elsewhere. So, grab a comfy seat and let's dive in, because the last thing you want is to buy a piece of tech that leaves you more frustrated than impressed. Before we jump deeper, here's a quick heads up. This review isn't about bashing Denon, but about providing honest insights that most Amazon pages won't highlight. After all, buying a receiver like this is a serious investment, and you deserve the full picture. And trust me, there are some big surprises ahead, some good, some not so much. Speaking of surprises, did you hear about the home theater guy who installed an X3800H and nearly lost his voice from shouting at setup? Let's just say, some user experiences are as dramatic as a blockbuster movie. Alright, so who is the Denon X3800H actually for? If you're a tech enthusiast who loves diving into complex home audio setups and craves the latest Dolby Atmos or DTS, Pro immersive soundscapes, this unit is built with you in mind. It's perfect for those who have large spaces, plenty of speakers, and the patience to tweak and tune until their theater sounds just right. It also suits someone with a 4K or 8K TV looking for an AV receiver that can handle next-gen formats and deliver an upgrade over older models. But if you're a plug-and-play user or want something simple and straightforward, brace yourself. This receiver demands more effort than a Netflix binge. Let's kick things off with what really catches the eye: the immersive audio capabilities. The Denon X3800H pumps out a generous 105 watts per channel across 9.4 channels, allowing you to power demanding speaker setups with room-filling sound. It supports Dolby Atmos, DTS, Pro, RO3D, and IMAX Enhanced, which technically means you get a true three-dimensional sound stage whether you're watching movies, playing games, or even streaming music. The height virtualization tech lets you simulate overhead audio without needing a bunch of ceiling speakers, which is a neat trick if your room doesn't lend itself to complicated installs. Video-wise, this baby handles 8K/60Hz and 4K/120Hz inputs through HDMI 2.1 ports, giving you future-proof bandwidth for next-gen consoles like the PS5 or Xbox Series X. It supports all the latest HDR standards, including HDR10+, Dolby Vision, and Dynamic HDR, which should translate to vivid, lifelike images on compatible TVs. Plus, with HDCP 2.3 and EARC, you're covered for modern content streaming and high-bandwidth audio returns. But here's where things get tricky. Numerous users report intermittent HDMI handshake failures that cause their video to cut out randomly or fail to display 8K content properly. These issues often require firmware updates or fiddling with settings, and sometimes the problem persists, turning what should be a seamless experience into a frustrating guessing game. One reviewer even joked their receiver had a PhD in HDMI mysteries. If you're expecting flawless connectivity out of the box, think again. Moving on to setup and user experience, the X3800H isn't for the faint of heart. Odyssey Room Correction is included, which is a powerful tool for tuning audio based on your room's acoustics. However, the system's interface and menus can feel overwhelming, especially when you combine multiple devices and inputs. The user manual is thick but sometimes confusing, leading to steep learning curves. Some owners report spending hours just configuring the basics, making it the closest thing to a DIY audio engineering project you'll find packaged in a retail box. Here's a joke for you. Why did the Denon X3800H get kicked out of the party? Because it refused to simplify its settings and kept making things complicated. In other words, if you're easily annoyed by tech puzzles, this could test your patience. But if you enjoy tinkering and have some experience under your belt, the level of customization and advanced features is a haven. Audio fidelity is generally praised but not without caveats. The amp delivers clean power and clear sound stages, but some audiophiles have noted that the X3800H can struggle with very low impedance speakers, or might produce slight distortion at higher volumes. While this might not be a deal-breaker for most, high-end enthusiasts could feel it lacks some nuance compared to even pricier models. Also, the virtual height effects, while effective, aren't a perfect substitute for real overhead speakers. One user humorously noted it's like the forced perspective trick of surround sound. They kind of fool your ears, but you can tell the difference. On the connectivity front, the receiver shines with 9 HDMI 2.1 ports, 6 inputs and 3 outputs, making it a hub for multiple sources like Blu-ray players, gaming consoles, and streaming devices. There's also a versatile range of analog and digital inputs, including a dedicated phono input for turntable lovers. We have 4 independent subwoofer outputs, 2 RCA and 2 balanced XLR, which is great for bass heads wanting precise bass management across their rooms. And thanks to built-in HEOS, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth, you get flexible streaming options covering Spotify, Pandora, Tidal, and more. So your multi-room audio ambitions are well supported. But then there are some annoyances. The receiver produces more heat than expected, which means it needs quiet, cool ventilation. Not exactly ideal if you like stuffing all your components tightly in a cabinet. Denon's fan noise at high volumes can also be noticeable, which distracts from an otherwise immersive experience. One satisfied owner joked it sounds like their home theater had a small jet engine running in the background. So keep that in mind when planning your setup location. Software-wise, updates arrive periodically, fixing bugs and adding features. However, updating the firmware can sometimes be cumbersome and risks bricking the unit if interrupted, a risk that should never be ignored. Thankfully, Denon's customer support is responsive, but if you lack tech confidence, prepare for occasional troubleshooting sessions. Now, let's talk price and value. Priced at about $17.99, the Denon X3800H sits in the upper mid-range of AV receivers. For that money, you're getting a seriously capable piece of gear that future-proofs your home theater with 8K support, multi-room audio, and advanced sound processing. However, considering the reported quirks and setup complexity, some buyers might find better peace of mind with competitors offering simpler experiences or slightly better reliability. That said, if you lean into its strengths and have the necessary patience, It can reward you with stunning entertainment experiences. Here's a quick story from a user I spoke with. After a nerve-wracking setup involving multiple cables, hours of troubleshooting, and even a few existential moments wondering if he'd accidentally wired his house wrong, he finally got the X3800H to sing. And what a performance! The sound was so immersive, he said it felt like the actors were arguing right in the living room, with bass that shook the floor without ever sounding muddy. His takeaway: the Denon demands respect and effort but can deliver show-stopping results for those who commit. To wrap up, the Denon X3800H isn't perfect. It's for the serious home theater enthusiast who wants next-level 3D audio, future-ready video capabilities, and superb multi-room features, but who also has the willingness to deal with quirks like HDMI handshake issues, a steep learning curve, and occasional fan noise. If you fit that description and don't mind investing some time into setup and fine-tuning, this receiver could be the heart of your ultimate home cinema. But if you want easy, plug-and-play simplicity or bulletproof reliability without fiddling, consider looking at other models or maybe even simpler Denon variants that might serve your needs better without the headaches. Either way, how you value those big feature sets versus the occasional pain point should guide your choice. Still curious or ready to upgrade your home theater? Check the link in the description below for the best price on Amazon. You'll find the Denon X3800H there, along with user reviews and deals you can't afford to miss. Oh, and one last joke to send you off. Why don't home theater receivers ever get lonely? Because they always get paired with speakers. Thanks for watching and happy viewing.